June 15th, 2016. I wrote a paper on Vixra called the Cornell effect, and the reason why I wrote that is because there's a lot of similarities with scientific progress and the psyche of a human being and how that functions. I'm in the Scientists and Inventors book again. As well, this understanding, this idea, I don't suppose is taught by physics teachers and universities. They seem to ignore it. They don't really want to go over this because it's like a dark closet with skeletons, I guess. It's a big closet with lots of skeletons, and they kind of try to gloss over the bad, say, oh well, science is great, and they elevate everything they talk about and do, not taking into account all the bad things, all the things that are negative about their systems and their methods and stuff like that. And that's what I'm getting a lot of learning from, is how misguided a lot of it really is. And case in point, I'll go ahead and read page 171 for you. Thomson's achievements won him national acclaim, international acclaim. But despite the brilliance of his life work, his later years were spent resisting change and progress. In the 1880s, he was the leader of the school of thought in Victorian science, which believed that all the basic work in physics had already been completed, and little now remained to be discovered. The pioneering research on radioactivity in the early 1900s and the promise of a new era in science did nothing to shake his reactionary beliefs. To the end of his life, Thomson maintained fierce opposition to the idea that energy emitted by radioactivity came from within the atom. One of the greatest scientific discoverers of the 19th century, Thomson died opposing one of the most vital innovations in the history of science. And of course, there are a lot of ideas that can surround that. Maybe, he knew somebody who was trying to argue against it and he had a thing against that specific person. But from what I take from this, it basically railed against his fundamental beliefs of how nature works. And that's what happens to a lot of highly educated people who work inside of groups. They become attached to those groups and the ideas inside of those groups. So if there are any outsiders or any new ideas that come around, they immediately reject them and they resist them with everything, with every fiber of their being. They resist them. And that's why I call it the Cornell effect, because Cornell is one of the high-ranking universities in the world, and they'll pump out students who take what they were told in school and hold on to them as if they're to their last nail breaks. They will not give up ideas, no matter if they're wrong or not, because that is their education. That's what they built. That's what they built their reality upon. They literally will go to the grave resisting ideas that they disagree with, which means the Cornell effect is much more dangerous than the Dunning-Kruger effect. I remember I'd be going onto forums and stuff, and people would say that I have a Dunning-Kruger effect, that I'm unskilled and I don't realize it. Sure, with many things I'm unskilled, that's true. But the thing is that I realize it, because I'm training myself. I'm learning as much as I can about astronomy. I'm learning chemistry, I'm learning physics, I'm studying books all over the place. And I'm correcting myself, which means the Dunning-Kruger effect can be mitigated. It can be lessened considerably. But the Cornell effect is a permanent forced ignorance that happens to highly educated people. The Cornell effect isn't to say, oh, well, you're ignorant and then you don't realize it. It's you're ignorant and you're okay with being ignorant because you feel as if you're never going to be ignorant because you're educated. It's a Cornell effect is a permanent ignorance. You can't fix that. And a lot of scientists these days, especially in astronomy, what I'm doing in astrophysics, The permanent ignorance is in the idea that stars and planets are mutually exclusive, but they're not. The star is the young hot planet, and the planet is the ancient evolving star. They're the same thing. But if you're going to sit here and try to tell astronomers these days what's going on, the Cornell effect is going to take hold. It's going to have an incredible impact on them. And there's no way you're going to be able to bring about this new idea. They're literally going to believe what they believe to the grave. And there's no way to change it. So I thought I'd just go over that real quick. It doesn't matter how brilliant the scientist is. It doesn't matter how educated they are. The key to curing ignorance is being able to recognize ignorance when it pops up. If you cannot recognize your own ignorance, then it doesn't matter how educated you are. The education is just going to completely gloss over it. But hopefully people can take from this what they will. Keep that in mind when you talk to really educated people. Sure, they're really educated, but there are some things that they don't understand, and they don't realize that they don't understand. It's that unknown issue again. And hopefully they can swallow a bit of pride being outclassed by an outsider such as myself. Oh, and another idea, just to end cap this, I think I'm going to start to become more gentle in my dealings with people, in my communication. Because it's like playing with a kitten. I mean, sure, the kitten is like biting and scratching and stuff, but you're so much stronger than it, and you can completely manhandle it and throw it and just kill it if you wanted to, very, very easily. But you got to be really, really gentle with it, and realize that you have a stronger position. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing from now on. Is just people ridicule me and whatnot, I'll just be gentle with them because they don't know any better. All right, later, y'all.